Long ago, in a valley of green hills and silver rivers, there was a kingdom called Darapur. It was ruled by King Arman, a warrior as fierce in battle as he was fair in peace. His queen, May, was the soul of the realm, gentle, wise, and loved by her people. But for all their blessings, one sorrow followed them. They had no child. Years passed in prayer and longing. Every temple in the land echoed with their hopes, yet the cradle remained empty. One night, under a silver moon, Queen May fell to her knees in the garden and wept. "O Lord above," she cried, "I ask for nothing but one child. Let him be my joy and the heir to this kingdom." The heavens heard. Months later, bells rang through Darapur. Flowers showered the palace balconies. Queen May had given birth. But when the midwife uncovered the cradle, joy turned to shock. The child was a donkey. King Arman froze. The newborn had soft white fur, long ears, and most haunting of all, human eyes. They were bright and curious, filled with life. The king's face fell. "What sin have we committed?" he whispered. That night, sleepless and broken, he walked in the moonlit garden. A shimmer of golden light appeared before him. A fairy stepped from it, her wings glimmering like glass. "King Arman," she said, "do not curse your fate. This is the fruit of your own past. In your youth, you killed a harmless donkey for sport, laughing as it died. That life has returned to you as your son." The king dropped to his knees. "Punish me, not the child." "The curse cannot be undone," the fairy said, "but mercy lies within it. By day, your son will wear a donkey's form, but by night, under the moon's light, his true self will appear, a noble and handsome prince. The curse will break one day, though no one knows how. But remember this: if you reveal his secret, the spell will bind him forever." With that, she vanished into starlight. Queen May held the baby close. "He is our son," she whispered. "Donkey or prince, he is ours. We will name him Leo." Leo grew quickly. By day, he was a lively donkey who galloped through the palace gardens, his long ears flapping as children laughed from behind the gates. But at night, as the moon rose, his donkey skin slipped away, revealing a boy, tall, graceful, and kind-eyed. He would stand before the mirror, studying his reflection. "This is my fate," he whispered, "to be a prince who can never belong." One night, Queen May found him crying. She sat beside him and brushed his hair back. "My son," she said, "a crown is not made of gold but of heart. Don't be ashamed of who you are. One day, the world will see your soul." Leo tried to believe her, but the ache inside him stayed. He found peace in music. In a forgotten corner of the palace stood an old lute, carved with roses and vines. At night, when he was human, he taught himself to play. His fingers bled, but he kept at it until his music filled the palace halls, carrying sorrow and beauty in every note. Soon, the people of Darapur whispered about the mysterious musician who played at midnight. They said even the wind paused to listen. One morning, the royal minstrel knelt before the king. "Your Majesty, your son's music has bewitched the people. Let him perform before the court." The king agreed. When Leo appeared, still a donkey, laughter filled the hall. But when he began to play, silence fell. The song was filled with yearning, as if the strings carried his soul. By the end, even the proudest nobles wept. From that day, no one mocked him. The people called him the Donkey Prince. Still, Leo's heart was restless. One dawn, as mist clung to the hills, he left the palace quietly with nothing but his lute. He wandered across forests and rivers until he reached another kingdom, where the gates were iron and the towers rose high above the clouds. "Open the gates," he called. "I am a prince and seek entry." The guards roared with laughter. "A prince? You're a donkey!" Leo didn't argue. He lifted his lute and played. The melody rose like light over water, full of longing and fire. The gatekeeper's eyes filled with tears. Without a word, he ran to tell his king. King Kif was proud and shrewd, known for testing those who sought his favor. When Leo entered the grand court, nobles burst into laughter. "A donkey in the king's hall!" But the king lifted his hand. Let him speak. Leo bowed deeply. I am no ordinary donkey. I am a prince by birth and spirit. Judge me not by my form, but by my heart. He began to play. The court fell silent. His song carried courage and sorrow, rising and falling like the tide. The music drifted up the marble stairs into the chamber of Princess Nazni, the king's daughter. She sat by her window, lonely and thoughtful, when the melody reached her. Something stirred in her chest. She rose and followed the sound down the stairs. When she saw him, a donkey, yet somehow noble, his eyes filled with quiet strength, she froze. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them, something that felt like fate. King Keef, moved by the strange magic in the room, chuckled. Very well, Donkey Prince. You may dine not with my soldiers, but at my side. Leo bowed. Your kindness honors me, your majesty. Days turned into weeks. Leo remained in the palace, performing for the court, walking in the gardens with the princess. Nazni found him astonishing. Though trapped in a beast's form, he was clever, kind, and graceful. Slowly, she began to see the man behind the shape. One evening, under the pale moon, she asked softly, Why do you hide your heart behind music? Leo looked away. Because my heart is bound in chains. To love me is to invite sorrow. Nazni smiled. Then let sorrow come. I see only you. Her words shook him. For the first time, he felt seen, not as a creature, but as a man. A few days later, Leo went before the king. Your Majesty, he said, I wish to leave your kingdom. The king frowned. Are you unhappy here? No, said Leo, but my path calls me elsewhere. The king sighed. Whatever you wish, I'll give if only you stay. Leo hesitated. Then grant me your daughter's hand. The court gasped. The king's face reddened. My daughter marry a donkey? Never. But as he cooled, another thought crept in. His daughter had rejected every suitor he'd found for her. Perhaps this would humble her. Very well, he said finally. She shall marry you. When Nazni heard, she wept bitterly. But her father's word was law. The wedding was held with music and unease. Guests whispered, and some laughed behind their hands. That night, when they entered their chamber, Nazni sat silently on the bed, tears glistening on her cheeks. Please don't cry, said Leo softly. Wait a little while, and soon you'll have no complaint against me. She didn't understand, but his voice was gentle. When the moon rose high, its light brushed his fur. Before her eyes, the donkey skin slipped away. In his place stood a man, tall, radiant, and beautiful. Nazni gasped. You are the prince of my dreams, she whispered. He smiled. And you are the one I've waited for. From that night on, they lived in joy. By day, Leo wore his donkey form. By night, he was the man she loved. Their affection deepened, quiet and true. The servants noticed the princess's happiness and whispered about the love between the beast and the beauty. King Keef, curious, decided to see for himself. One night, he crept to their window and peered inside. When he saw Leo shed his skin and stand human beneath the moon, his eyes widened in awe. That same night, a glow filled his chamber. The fairy appeared again, her wings glimmering like ice. Mighty king, she said, your son-in-law's suffering can end. Take this vial of enchanted water. Sprinkle it on his donkey skin, and it will vanish forever. The king hesitated, then nodded. While Leo and Nazni slept, he entered their chamber quietly. The donkey skin lay folded by the mirror. He poured the glowing water over it, and the skin dissolved into air. At dawn, Leo awoke and reached for it, but it was gone. Panic seized him. No! What have you done? He cried. Without it, my secret is exposed. The world will laugh. They'll despise me. Nazni took his hands. Listen to me, she said softly. Even when you were a donkey, you touched hearts with your music. You showed kindness and courage when others mocked you. People may talk, but they'll forget the curse. What they'll remember is the man you are. Her words calmed him. Slowly he breathed again. Then let them see me as I am. When the people saw him in human form, they fell silent in awe. King Kiev stepped forward, shame softening his face. "You were worthy all along," he said quietly. "It was I who failed to see it." Years passed. Leo ruled beside Nazni with wisdom and compassion. Guided by her love and by his mother's teachings, he built schools, tended to the poor, and filled the kingdom with laughter and song. He became known not just for his music, but for his mercy. The story of the Donkey Prince spread far and wide. Parents told their children how he'd once worn a donkey's skin by day and a prince's heart by night. They said that sometimes, when the moon was full, a faint melody would drift across the valley, a song that carried both joy and sorrow. And so, in the valley of green hills and silver rivers, the name of King Leo lived on as a reminder that a curse can become a blessing, that true worth lies not in form but in spirit, and that love, when pure, can break even the oldest spell.